We are joined by the Guardian's Manchester football correspondent Jamie Jackson and Adam McKola from FullTimeDevils to preview all of the weekend's Premier League games. Now then, as you pair are a wealth of knowledge on Manchester football, we'll talk in depth this week about Man United v Aston Villa. But first, I'd love to know what you think about someone you've both got previous with, Jose Mourinho.
And I won more premierships alone than the other 19 managers together. 3 for me and 2 for them. Respect, man, respect.
Jose Mourinho didn't change it today. He was standing on the sidelines watching the game passing by, just like Fellaini was in midfield.
So, Adam, how do you feel about him restarting his career at Spurs?
It's a weird one. I was shocked, to be totally honest with you, that Spurs made the leap and took him in. Am I shocked he's back in the Premier League? No. Do I care? No.
Do you not think the Premier League needed him
Like
back?
Sir Alex Ferguson said, it's only Tottenham, so I'm not really bothered by it. But when he comes back to Old Trafford soon, I'll give him a cheer and I'll give him an applause, because I will ultimately remember the good times, Stockholm, the League Cup, etc. But even though it did end in a
Do you
bad
respect
manner.
him?
Yeah. He deserved to get sacked, and I'm glad he's not our manager. But I do respect him. I think United are good with that. I can't really remember any former player or manager come back to United that we've really booed, like Paul Ince, Peter Schmeichel maybe for cartwheeling in front of us, Carlos Tevez, but those were for good reason. Like, I think with Jose Mourinho, he's won us trophies and we'll remember that rather than how it ended.
Cheers for that, Adam. Right then, first of all, Jamie, before I ask you, I have to highlight that I absolutely love this shirt. The Grinch himself.
Very festive. I'm a bit bereft you two aren't the same.
I know we didn't get that memo, did
Come on,
we?
it's virtually Christmas
I did
Day,
dress
innit?
like a furry bauble.
Well, you know what? Yeah, the furry bauble and the Grinch. So thank you very much for sparkling up the Squawka studio. What do you make of Jose's return to the Premier League?
It's fascinating. It's entertainment. I give him half a chance of doing really well, because I think the squad he's got there, it's kind of about twice as good as the one he had at United, and I think that's what really cheesed him off. Deep down, he knew that he couldn't win the big prize, the Premier League. How long it'll last, I don't know, but it is interesting. And your point just then, I think the Premier League did miss him and does need him, because as soon as he came out, I thought, oh yeah, I'm actually really interested. I hadn't realised myself, and I think that's kind of what everyone else is. And this whole humble act, I'm so humble, is hilarious, because he says that, and then he's talking about
also the special one.
Yeah, and also like the best ball boy ever, and all sorts of palaver. So that's just
you have
him.
to say he's the best ball boy ever when you didn't have a football career, though, don't you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ouch.
No, but
ouch. Jose, if you're watching this.
Sorry, Jose.
Right, well, we move on now to Man United. Adam, did you feel that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time was basically up when they were 2-0 down against Sheffield United?
No, because I think it would have been, a start of a potential run which could see him get sacked. I still think the way we played in that game leaves an overall frustration with me, because it was pretty poor for most of the game. And then when you get the lead, we couldn't hold on to it. So ultimately, questions have to be asked about that. I thought he did some good things in the game in terms of his in-game management. He did some bad things in the game. I don't think necessarily bringing Axel Tuanzebe on late on in the game to shore it up was a bad thing. I think taking off Martial was the wrong thing, in terms of we lost our shape completely. Martial didn't have a great game, but he was a focal point. He was someone to hold the ball up. And when you look at the players that remained on the pitch, they couldn't really do that, and we lost our shape straight away. So I would ask questions about that, and the ability to change things quicker. When you look at Spurs in the Champions League, they go 2-0 down against Olympiacos. Jose changed it after half an hour. Now, you look at Ole, he waited till half time, and I do feel if we made that change earlier, we would have won that game probably more comfortably when you look at the chances we created when we went 4-2, 3-1. So there is a little bit of frustration there. I think Ole does deserve criticisms for some of the things he's done. He also deserves praise. I don't think we did a video, myself and Jamie, on Squawka as well, which was ranking the safest to the one who's going to get sacked. I don't think he's anywhere close to being sacked right now, but a bad run could start the questions up again, especially with Poch being available.
Well, we can look at the manager and we can look at the squad. So, Jamie, I throw to you now. Do you think that they plan, Man United, to make some significant additions in January?
One name that's kicking around, potential target, is Dzeko, Edin Dzeko, which is interesting because he was kind of, I don't know if you'd say past it, but he'd levelled out at Manchester City, and he's not really a Ole Gunnar Solskjaer player. And considering he said, and people at clubs say they're not going for any short-term fixes, he would be one. But the short-term fixes are short-term fixes. So if it's them being a bit streetwise and saying, look, we're short of goals for the rest of the season, let's just get whoever we can in, just basically to win games. That to me is an okay kind of short-termism, rather than getting Dzeko in and signing up for 4 years, for example. So it might be someone like him. They always say, look, we have a summer list. If we can get them in January, then we should get them in January. I don't know. It would be difficult, but I think there might be a strap. Mandzukic isn't out of the picture either. You know, with regard to that Dzeko sort of role, because they're lighter goals.
With Jadon Sancho and Maddison. Are they? Sorry, not Maddison. Erling Haaland. Are they possibilities in January?
Yeah, well, it's a similar thing. The Sancho's not happy at Dortmund. He sort of got bombed out of the team a couple of times. If you still look at his record, he's done all right considering he's in and out of the side. I think he wants to leave. Just speak at some people in Germany about it. So yeah, he is one I should have mentioned actually. But whether you can get him, then that'd be a heck of a signing for me.
Would he come to United though?
Yeah, I think he would. Yeah, I think he's interested. I mean, there's other clubs, proper clubs, if I call them that.
Pardon?
Like Burnley and places like that.
What is this?
Who are interested in him. So, that listen, you get a Sancho in January, that would electrify your season, whereas a Dzeko to me isn't that inspiring. So let's wait and see. The midfield's a problem. We discussed this earlier. The midfield, I mean, it is, if you're missing McTominay to such a degree that you're missing him, then that says a lot. I think Neville got it right the other day. He said Pereira and Fred are not even a sort of middling.
He said the leftovers or something.
Yeah, but he said they're not even a mid-table midfield.
Said they don't need to replace Herrera.
They got that one wrong.
Well, when I initially asked Jamie that, Adam, you started shaking your head a bit. What's your take?
I was shaking my head. I don't expect us to make any significant additions.
You don't think there are going to be?
No, the board it's always some sort of PR statement comes out. We're going to do this and we're going to do that.
What about Sanchez? That works.
The window comes and then nothing happens, and then the same excuses. It's January.
The furry baubles feeling deflated.
I know. I feel like they're wearing that.
No, but it's true. It comes to January, and then the old excuses come out. It's January. Who wants to move in January? We just said in the summer that we never had time to do the business, and we don't want to rush into signings. At least I feel like our club acts like they can only start making transfers when the window opens. You can start preparing to make signings now.
To be fair, they would say that they do that all year round, prepare and plan and try and put it in. Well, that's what
we signed Maguire and Wan-Bissaka. It takes us all summer.
So as we can see, Adam's really happy about that. Right then, let's take a look at Man United and Aston Villa's last Premier League starting 11s. Now we're recording this before Man United play in the Europa League, but the latest injury news is the Reds could be without 8 players due to injury. And for Aston Villa, they could have Jota and Engels available again after injury. Now, Adam, we saw United with the back 3 against Sheffield United. Do you think that experiment is over now?
I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over. The reason the back 3 didn't work that day was down to Phil Jones losing his head. I'll put it nicely. He lost his head, and I think he made one mistake, and then it got worse and worse and worse for him, and he just kept pulling the whole defense out of shape, pulling Maguire over. Then Maguire comes over, he looks worse, and it just had a knock-on effect on everybody. And there was one particular moment in the game where we sliced the ball clear. It came to Daniel James about 40 yards out, just inside our own half. Marcus Rashford span off and made the run. And instead of bringing it down and passing it, Daniel James slashed the ball. And Harry Maguire lost his head at him. And I remember thinking, great stuff from Harry Maguire. But that kind of uncertainty that Phil Jones brought to the team just spread like wildfire. And I felt that's why it didn't work that day. We also looked a lot better when we played 4-2-3-1 and we had a link up, because when we usually play this formation, we usually have the 2 strikers here and then 1 sitting. Whereas that day against Sheffield United, we had James out wide, Rashford out wide, 2 midfield.
Not got touch screen yet, sorry.
I know. But we had Rashford out wide, James out wide, and we didn't have that central figure.
Yeah.
And then when Lingard came into the team, we immediately had someone in that position where the midfielders could pass the ball to. Pereira had a dreadful game. Fred didn't have a good game. But whenever they got up and looked forward, there was no one there to pass the ball to. So I think if we do play 3-4-3 or 3-4-1-2 again, James won't play. It'll be Rashford and Martial up top with Lingard or Pereira behind them. Against Villa, we'll probably go back to a back four.
Yeah, I thought you might say that. Right, well, Marcus Rashford is currently level with Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling on 7 goals in the Premier League this season. So, Jamie, in your opinion, should he be considered with these two at the top level?
No. If he does it for the rest of the season, maybe the next couple of seasons, then yeah. I mean, Sterling's interesting that he's in there because he was kind of like maybe where Rashford is now when he sort of first went to City and he could never seem to finish. He got into position and some would go in and some wouldn't, and then it suddenly just clicked. And you'd hope for Rashford that's maybe what's going on now. Maybe in another sort of 13, 14 games he scored.
So you were going to say 13, 14 seasons then. I was like, hang on.
13, 14 seasons will break Rooney's record.
But no, I mean, it's about consistency. I think both him and Martial more or less have got 1 in every 2 at least.
Yeah, this year.
Which is bare minimum for Manchester United, right? You need to be scoring probably a little bit better than that, but 1 in 2 has got to be the bare minimum. And they're actually doing it, but can they continue? But I'd say Sterling's a really good inspiration for him because I didn't think it was going to happen for Sterling at City, and it has totally now. And Rashford, as we keep on saying, and it is still true, he's 22, so he's still very young, and he's got lots of appearances, but at the moment not quite on their level.
I think it's fair I know they're only being compared because they're on the same goals and assists, so not pointing at that, but I think it'd be unfair to compare Rashford's career at the end of it to someone like Harry Kane's career, who is an out and out number 9. I think Marcus Rashford, it's fair to compare him to Raheem Sterling, to maybe say, can he get to the levels of the Manes and people that are playing in those wider positions to count him alongside those number 9s. I don't think that's his game. I think he is more of a wide forward.
This just confused me though, because I thought for years he wanted to play number 9 for United, and suddenly this season he doesn't want to do it. What happened to that?
Even at the 18s level, before he broke through for United, he was never a natural goal scorer, and he never played out and out striker. He drift wide sometimes. So I don't think he's ever been that. We'd hoped he could become an option there. I remember there was a hope that he could do that and be a backup for Zlatan in that position. But I think Anthony Martial showed he's so much more comfortable than him with his back to goal. And in terms of making those,
I think Martial's a better footballer. Would you agree? Yes. Overall,
I think Martial's my favourite player at United. I think he's got a higher ceiling. I think he can be a top number 9. But so can Rashford be a top player as well. Yeah.
Well, fair play to the lad.
And he can get to that level, but he's not at that level yet.
But he's doing all right. Right then, there are of course plenty of fixtures taking place over the weekend. So we'll get briefly, guys, your view on each of these. Firstly, Jamie, Saturday early kickoff, Newcastle, Man City. What are we saying?
Keep an eye on City's defence because it's creaking. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's fine. And goals?
2-1 City.
2 each.
Oh, nice. Newcastle will be happy with that.
Right
then, Adam, Burnley, Palace.
I think Burnley win this one comfortably. They're looking good at the moment. They're not conceding many goals. And like I said, Sean Dyche.
You're related to, you must be.
Manager's got a pub in that. 2-0 Burnley.
This one, West Ham probably aren't going to be looking forward to, are they? Chelsea, West Ham.
I think Lampard continues to do very well for him. So I don't know, 2-0, 3-0,
4-0.
4-0. Wow. Right then, Adam, Liverpool, Brighton.
Liverpool going to win.
Put him.
Liverpool are going to win.
I know it hurts, but can you say it a little bit louder?
Liverpool are going to win.
With feeling.
What's the score going to be?
Probably like 3-0.
Okay.
All 3 goals being given by VAR in the last minute.
Ouch. Right then, JB, Spurs, Bournemouth.
So Jose Mourinho to come on as a ball boy, not be in the dugout, and then lose 2-0 and resign from all ball boyery for the rest of his career.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Right, 5:30 kickoff, Southampton, Watford. Adam.
This is a weird one, because both managers we had them both near the bottom of the sack table. Sorry to spoil it a little bit there for you, but
they're both going to want that win.
I think Southampton win. They missed a lot of chances against Arsenal, but I think home advantage here should give them the win.
So you reckon Southampton are going to bag that one? Right, Sunday, Norwich, Arsenal.
I'm thinking he's going to come unstuck and this could be his last game. So maybe like a 3-1 to Norwich.
Hang on, you think Norwich are going to win that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
So do I.
Right then, 5th and 6th respectively here in the table. Wolves, Sheffield United.
Chris Wilder.
That's going to be an absolute 0-0 board draw.
Do you reckon? What,
Good
Jamie,
point,
do you agree with
Sheffield.
that?
I think Wolves are beating Chris Wilder's Sheffield United.
Chris Wilder, safest manager in the league.
3-1 to the Wolves.
All right, then, Leicester, Everton. Again, Everton not going to be looking forward to this.
This could get real messy, innit?
Yeah. I'd just looking forward to seeing Brendan Rodgers' teeth.
You'll be seeing a lot of them because he's going to be smiling a lot.
Yeah, we're
when
not sure
Everton
how
rock
much more
up
of
to-
Marco Silva's we're going to be seeing, though, are we?
I don't know, about 4-1 or something to Leicester once Vardy gets going.
4-1 to Leicester was saying, and of course, Man United, Aston Villa, we've had a good chat about. Thank you very
We're
much for
going to
that
batter him
chat.
0-0.
Right, cheers, Adam. Right, it is Squawka Challenge time. Now, this is neither of yours first rodeo, so we will crack straight on with it.
Oh, you've been here before, Jamie?
You've both been here before, right?
How has Sam got ahead of me? Because
How did Jamie get 20?
Because he was with Sam Lee at
No,
the
but
time.
how come he's got 4 more? I don't understand.
So Sam Lee came back and
Oh,
on his
did he
own
now?
independently managed to get 28 points. So
Wow.
it's very impressive.
Did you give him the Premier League to do or something?
No, he did. What we are going to give you both the option to do now. So Adam, you're an 11. Jamie, you're a 24.
11. Drink
you
it
can
up.
either stick or twist. You can go with your current score or you can opt to have another go. Adam, do you want to go again or stick?
In the famous words of Steven Gerrard, we go again.
We go again. And what about you, Jamie?
I'm sticking because I think Sam Lee's going to be drug tested and that squad's going to be and I'm going to be leading, so I want to see him
We
square
had a
as well.
package from Team Sky.
And those are Jamie's famous last words. Right then, Adam, we're going to give you the chance to beat your score
What's the
of
question, by the way?
11. Right, well, you're going to find out now when we set the timer, right? So you have 60 seconds
Club sacked.
to name
That have sacked
as
loads of
many Portuguese football clubs as you can, starting now.
Aves, Benfica, Boa Vista, Porto, Sporting Lisbon, Braga, Benfica, did I say them?
Yeah.
Maritimo, Belenenses,
Come on, Adam. Got this.
Portuguese. There's one that starts with F. That's
Really want you to get this. You get 3 more. You're in line with what you've already got. Come on, Adam.
who does Sporting play every season?
You're gone at the game, aren't you?
Boa Vista, Braga. Chavez. That's another one, I think. It's time up.
No, it's 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Come on. You can do this.
My
Just say
head's absolutely
anything. Say
frazzled.
anything.
Legs have gone. Back legs
Portugal.
have gone.
Time is up.
I'm at 9.
I'm just going to check. I think 9.
Well, to be fair, I haven't moved anywhere in the table, have I?
Well,
No, you're now joint with Chris Pajak. You all right with that?
I ate him as well.
Feisty.
Still above Jesse Lingard, though.
Right, yeah.
Professional footballer.
Yeah, you've managed to go from 6th from the bottom to 5th from the bottom. So
I'm
you're not
above
doing
him.
too
That's
bad.
all that matters.
This
tough
is a
at
bit-
the top, but tougher at the bottom.
It's a bit like you're safe to sacks, this, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
getting closer to sack down here, and you want to be having your back
Bit of
again.
natural selection, I reckon.
Right, you can see the video that Adam
Absolute
and Jamie have both done. You've both done that one for Squawka, haven't you? Where you have ranked the managers in the Premier League from safe to sacked. It's very good, very entertaining. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Let the people at home know where they can find more of you.
YouTube.com/Adam McKola and on FullTimeDevils.
Thank you. Jamie, the author, let them know where they can find more of you.
Well, my book, Nighttime Cools, under my author name, Jamie Paradise. It's about all sorts of shenanigans at Christmas novel, and yeah, Jamie Jackson, The Guardian, that sort of palaver.
Well,
for
it's
all
been-
football things.
It's been
Get on
great
the book,
fun.
though.
Thank you very
Have you
much.
read it?
Have you read it?
I've read some of it.
Rave
I've not read all of
reviews.
it.
5
Not read
stars.
all of it. I'm not going to pretend that I've read all of it. But trust me, I've read some of it.
Very good.
Wild.
Thank you. Furry
true.
Bauble and the Grinch, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to you at home for watching. Enjoy the weekend's football. If you like this video, hit subscribe and comment anything you like within reason below. And we'll be back next time on Squawka.
Bye.